How's it going out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's go right into this movie review and see what I saw. So on Saturday, I had the pleasure of finally checking out an awesome new sequel that just came out last Friday. And it's just a really awesome and amazing sequel that, we've been waiting 2 years now for. And everyone was like just super excited about this, especially with the addition of a few new awesome characters in the film. And that, of course, is the film Deadpool 2. Now, Deadpool 2, if you're not familiar with what Deadpool is, it's a Marvel comic. It's a awesome, comic book character from the Marvel universe that was, created by these awesome, illustrator and writer. And just, it's a really awesome universe. If you haven't seen the first one, definitely check that out before you see this one, because it'll make a lot more sense. But at the same time, it's such a great sequel to that one. I really put this up to par. I feel that this is just as good as the first one was. Now, this awesome film was actually directed this time by the awesome co-director of one of the John Wick films. And that, of course, is Mr. David Leitch. Now, like I said, David Leitch was a co-director on the first John Wick film, John Wick. Now, John Wick was just an awesome Keanu Reeves action film that was just really awesome, spectacular, and just amazing. It really brought back to life Keanu's action status, like for action star and stuff like that, I feel. I mean, he never really lost it, but I still think that this movie really brought him back into the action scene and really showed how awesome an actor he is. And he just was so badass in the film, and just was so cool in it, and just David Leitch did a great job of co-directing that film and giving us a really awesome action-packed film. Now, another film David Leitch directed, and I think it's a really awesome action flick too, and also stars an actress I'm not too fond of. I don't really care too much for her. I don't think she's anything special. I mean, definitely her role in Monster was really fantastic. It's probably one of her best roles, most definitely. But I feel that her other roles have just been mediocre and kind of just, simple and plain there. And that, of course, is the awesome film Atomic Blonde, which has one of the best soundtracks I've heard from a feature film in years. This movie just had an awesome soundtrack, great look, great CGI effects, just a great action-packed film that David Leitch directed the crap out of again. He really brought a lot of great 80s vibe to it, especially if you're a huge 80s fan. This movie is for you. Lots of 80s-ness, lots of great, frame over in Russia during this time, and it's just a really awesome action-packed film. And David Leitch, once again, he really showed that he has a great eye for action films, because a lot of people don't realize, but he actually was a stunt coordinator and a stuntman for many years before he got into directing, actually. And he really knows his stuff, and you can see it in his films, and he did that with both those films. Now, when it comes to Deadpool 2, once again, he brought that awesome, stuntman quality and action-knowing, type of filmmaking to Deadpool 2, and made it a really awesome action-packed film. Lots of great action sequences in this film. Just a lot of great, dialogue, of course, once again, by Ryan Reynolds and everyone involved. And just, it was a really well-rounded sequel and lived up to the first film. And I thought David did an awesome job of making that and giving us an awesome new and sequel to the awesome original Deadpool. He really did an amazing job, and I think that his instructions and his guidance in the film really showed through, and I think he really developed a really amazing film. Now, once again, this film has an awesome cast again. Of course, we have returning people from the first film, along with a few new additions. Now, to start off this awesome cast, we have none other than the awesome himself, Mr. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds. Now, Ryan Reynolds, you might recognize from a slew of films like Just Friends. You might recognize him from the Green Lantern film that did poorly. You might recognize him from Definitely Maybe. You might recognize him from The Proposal. You might recognize him from a slew of films, like I said. But a couple films I thought he was really stand out in and thought he was just really fantastic were such films as the awesome 2011 film, I believe it came out. And it's an awesome film that's just kind of like you have no idea where it's going because it takes place all in one place, in one box. And that is the film Buried. Now, Buried is just a really awesome kind of psychological thriller film. Basically, he's stuck in this coffin 20 feet down, buried, and he only has this phone that person keeps talking to him about, and telling him things to do while he's stuck in this box. and he's got to figure out how to get himself out and how to, basically survive this ordeal. And it's just a really awesome film. And I thought that it was a lot better than what the critics first said about it. And I thought it was just a really general and good thriller. Really awesome, really interesting. The ending I wasn't too thrilled about, but the film itself was just fantastic. And it was a really good, thriller type of film. And I thought Ryan was really awesome in it. Another awesome film that he was in was an awesome comedy film that came out in the early 2000s that starred Tara Reid and also the awesome Cal Penn, and that is the film Van Wilder, or National Lampoon's Van Wilder. Now, this awesome film is just like a raunchy kind of comedy along the lines of American Pie, Waiting, films like that. And this was just a really fun film for Ryan Reynolds, I thought. I thought he was super hilarious in it. I loved his Van Wilder character because he was very pompous, but at the same time he had heart. And you just thought he was super funny and hilarious, and I really enjoyed him in it. And I just thought he made a great comedy. He's so good at comedy, and I think that that comes through when he plays Deadpool too as well. Now, when it comes to playing Deadpool again, he was again spot on as Deadpool, perfect as usual, super hilarious and funny, great action sequences, and he just played so well with everybody involved. He brought a lot of great one-liners once again, and some of the scenes were just so hilarious, especially one scene towards the middle of the film where he has to regrow a part, and you're laughing so hard because he's it's nothing, because he's Deadpool and he can't die. And it just was so funny, and Ryan brought that across so well. And he also is so good at, he can be dramatic when he wants to be, and I felt that there was a couple scenes in this film that had a little bit of drama to it, that he really portrayed his dramatic skills, and I thought he did a really good job with that. Once again, just a great overall performance, just a really good film, and really fun. Now, an awesome new actor that is joining the Deadpool cast in this film is none other, and also bringing an awesome new character to the series as well. The first time on the big screen too as well, for this character for Marvel. And that, of course, is the awesome Mr. Thanos himself, Josh Brolin. Now, Josh Brolin, of course, you might recognize as Bran from the Goonies film, right? Might recognize him from No Country for Old Men. You might recognize him from, films like that and so forth that he's done over the last few years. And he's just an awesome and excellent, dramatic actor, but also he can be an action star as well. Now, a couple films I really enjoyed him and thought he was really fantastic in are both from 1997. Now, one of those 1997 films happens to be this awesome Ewan McGregor thriller film, also starring the awesome Nick Nolte, and that film is called The Night Watch, where Ewan McGregor plays kind of like this night watchman at this morgue and stuff like that, and Josh Brolin plays his best friend in the film. And I thought he was really awesome as this best friend because he goes through crazy lengths in the film, and he really shows how good of a dramatic actor and just a really keeps you on your toes type of acting. And he did a really good job in that film, and I thought he played very well off of everyone in the film, and just made a really good kind of psychological thriller type of film. Now, the other film that he made in 1997 I thought was a great film, and just a great performance by him. And that is, of course, this Guillermo del Toro's horror movie, or kind of action horror film, about, kind of trying to, stop this plague from happening. And that is the film Mimic. Mimic is just a really awesome film. I absolutely love this film. I think it's one of the best horror films of 1997. Just a really awesome kind of creature feature type of film, and just really well done by Guillermo. But I thought Josh Brolin was really awesome in the film. I loved his detective character. I really liked where it went with it. I didn't care for his the ending to his character in the film, but still he was really awesome. And I thought he did a really good job at playing that character, even though it wasn't a huge role. Still, he was a great character in that film that played well with all the other characters and gave the story a nice, flushed feeling. And I just thought it was a really fantastic role for Josh. But when it comes to playing Cable, I thought he did a pretty decent job. I really like his take on Cable, the character. I thought he did a really good job. I thought it was different and interesting. He was really spectacular playing Cable, I thought. I thought he did a decent job. I loved the look that they gave him for the character. I thought he looked pretty badass, and he had a lot of great muscle textures, and I thought the robotic arm looked really cool. It just was a really well-rendered Cable version. I mean, it didn't look quite like him, because Brolin isn't as tall as Cable is supposed to be in the comics, but still they did a good enough job that I felt that he was believable, and he was a decent Cable character. But all in all, he was really good in the film, and I really enjoyed his Cable version, and it made it very entertaining and fun. Another awesome returning actor to this film, or actress you want to say, is none other than Miss Gotham herself, Marina Baccarin. Now, you might recognize her from the TV show Gotham, where she plays Jim Gordon's love interest, like his girlfriend, kind of, and that falls to the side, and she falls in love with other people, and so forth. But also, a couple great movies that I felt that she was fantastic in were none other than the awesome 2015 film that was directed by the awesome Paul Feig, and that is the film Spy. Now, even though her role wasn't super big in the film, it still was kind of funny. She was very kind of like snooty person, and I thought it was really hilarious. I thought she was kind of funny interacting with Melissa McCarthy and, you know, everyone that she interacted with in the film. And I just thought she was like a great kind of like bad guy type of character slash kind of snooty person. And I thought she did a good job in that film, and just it was fun to watch. Another film that she was in that I thought she was fantastic in, and also she was reprising a role from the original TV series she was on back in the early 2000s, and that is the film Serenity, which is a actual movie based off of the Firefly TV series, if you did not know that. But this movie was just really awesome, an excellent sci-fi thriller done by Joss Whedon. Probably one of his best films, I feel. I think this was around the time that I felt that he was just becoming kind of known to the world and becoming a good director, and I felt that this was probably one of his best directing efforts ever. I mean, compared to the two Avengers film, I felt that Serenity was a lot better directing ability by him versus those two Marvel films, unfortunately. I mean, the Marvel films were fantastic, but I felt that from the first Avengers to the second Avengers, he just kind of went to the wayside and wasn't really had his heart into it like he did with Serenity. And I thought that he just did a better directing job with Serenity. But at the same time, I thought Marina Baccarin coming back to play her same character from Firefly was really awesome. She was real fun to see in the film. I thought her interaction and her character itself was just fun to watch in the film. And I thought that her backstory for the film was just really interesting as well. She brought a lot of great flavor to that character, and also at the same time, she just worked really well with everyone and made the story just a great and all a whole. Just a really well done film, and I thought her performance in it was really fantastic. Now, it comes to her character again as Vanessa in Deadpool 2. It was fun seeing her in the film again. It was nice seeing that they brought her back as his girlfriend and stuff. And, unfortunately, her role wasn't as big as it could have been. And I was kind of sad by that, because I was expecting her to be in the film more. But at the same time, still, even the part she was in, she was really fantastic. And you could see how good their chemistry was together, Ryan Reynolds and her. And, you felt like they really did care for each other and that they really were this couple. And I thought that they worked so well off each other, and just her scenes were very well timed and just really well done. She did a really fantastic job, and I really enjoyed her in the film. Another newcomer to the film that plays the awesome character Domino in the film is none other than Miss Zazie Beetz. Now, Zazie Beetz really hasn't been in a ton of films, but she is a regular on a TV show that I had the chance of seeing a couple previews and kind of part of an episode of. And that is the TV show Atlanta that Donald Glover does, that's on the FX network. And she actually plays one of the main characters in the film, and she's been a regular on the show since its inception back in 2016. Now, like I said, I really haven't seen much of it, but from my understanding, her performance in it is really fun, really interesting, and very powerful. And I really haven't seen her in anything else very much, except for one other film. And that film, of course, is an awesome, action-packed disaster movie that came out last year. And that is the film Geostorm. Now, Geostorm is just a really awesome, like I said, disaster film that, has to do with, once again, trying to save the world from a natural disaster, basically. But she plays a small part in the role as one of the space station people that's on the space station that's helping keeping the weather under control down on Earth. And she plays kind of like like I said, a small part, but at the same time, she has some really good one-liners in the film, and it's just really funny, and she just really does a good job in it. Now, when it comes to in Deadpool 2, I thought she was fantastic as Domino. She was absolutely hilarious. I thought that she kept up with Ryan Reynolds' awesome humor in the film, and just did a really amazing job at keeping up with Ryan. And just the back talk and all that stuff like that between each other was just really good and well chemistried. And just was really funny, and I thought she was a great addition to the film, and pretty much one of the few that that we get to see a lot of actually in the film compared to some of the other characters. And it was just fun to see her kind of evolve through the film, and also at the same time give us our first on-screen look of who Domino is and just what her character could be. And I thought she did a fantastic job with that. Really well done, and just a great addition to the awesome film. Now, if you're not familiar with what Deadpool 2 is about, basically to sum it up, this time around, Deadpool basically starts off and forms a new supergroup because he really doesn't think that he can get along with the X-Men. And so he does this so that he can try to save this other superhero teen, or this mutant teen, from being destroyed by Cable for some odd reason. And that's pretty much the base of the film, is him trying to save this teen and to make this new team, and then try to put everything back together and be the super anti-hero he is. Just a really well-rounded film, really fun, super awesome. Lots of great action sequences in this. Once again, blood and gore out the wazoo, swears, and funny one-liners and all that good stuff involved, just like the first film. It just was a really well executed sequel. I'm very glad they did the reshoots, if that had anything to do with making the film even better how it was. It was great to see another awesome Marvel character finally get its justice on screen as well. I won't say who it was because I want you to be surprised when you see him in the film. It's just a really awesome and excellent, well done sequel. Like I said, up there, it's tied with the first Deadpool. It's just as good as the first Deadpool, if not better. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this one, guys. Definitely go see it. Just came out. Really worth seeing on the big screen. Just a really well done and executed film. I don't think that it could have been any better, because it was just so fantastically and well done. Really, once again, Marvel bringing us an awesome flick again and adding to the awesome MCU, and just making a great film. Really well done, and can't wait to add it to the collection when it comes out. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? A grand invitation? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one of these awesome videos, or any of the awesome videos I put up. As always, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen yet. And always, check out that awesome link down below about the awesome Horror Pack. Now, if you're not familiar with what Horror Pack is, basically it's an awesome subscription service that comes right to your door every month of awesome horror films. Now, each box comes with either 4 DVDs or 4 Blu-rays of awesome horror goodness. Now, each of these boxes also comes with an awesome limited edition you can't get anywhere else. So if you're a big collector, or if you're a fan of collecting out of prints or anything like that, what better way to get it for a cheap price instead of having to pay out the wazoo on eBay? Somebody asking, oh yeah, I got this 1977 Jedi toy for $3,000. You can get it included in your price, and you don't have to pay out the wazoo. So what better way to get it? So if you're interested in that, hit that awesome link down below and get your discount on your first month as well. And as always, people, check out the awesome Stardust app. Now, Stardust is an awesome little app that you can get either in the Google Play Store or the Apple Play Store. And you can watch awesome 3 to 30 second little mini reviews of movies, TV shows, trailers, anything your heart desires. And also, this awesome app is always updating and adding new awesome special features as well. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and download that, and then follow me at Cyberneticshark, and I'll follow you back. And as always, catch you in the next one.